Argentina defend the goal to the left in the first half. Their blue and white stripes, one of the most distinctive of international strips. This is Dario Franco. Manchester United's gallant ground staff still trying to make up for past mistakes and produce a pitch in keeping with the rest of the fine facilities here. Certainly the first challenge by Franco, suggesting that we've got a very serious game here. Weber, who conceded the penalty at Wembley, he's wearing number 4, Mikkelsen at 7. Franco preventing the pass, getting to the right-hand side. Mostovoy, who's still trying to get his senses back after being dumped down by Franco in that very first confrontation of the match. Good evening to Andy Gray.
Good evening, Martin. Yes, it's very, very nice to be here at Old Trafford. I've never seen as many under-16s at this ground in my life. It's quite incredible coming here tonight, how many kids are actually watching this game, and that's a wonderful sign to see. I'm actually delighted that Dobrovolsky and Mostovoy have been included in the Soviet side tonight. It does suggest that they will be a little more attack-minded. It looks as if Dobrovolsky has gone up front already with Kolivanov, and it does look as if Konchelskis as well is playing up front. So it looks as if the Soviets are starting with 3 up front, which is always a good sign.
Chernyshov, who was caught out once or twice at Wembley, caught in possession here. This is Garcia. It's a good start by Argentina. It's Weber and then Dobrovolsky calmly. Well, here's the local boy, Andrei Konchelskis, with just the 1 First Division game under his belt for Manchester United away at Crystal Palace. And I must say, they brought so many youngsters, attracted so many youngsters to this international here. Manchester United have worked hard in that respect. The crowd noise is almost like the sort you get at a schoolboy international. But I'm sure they're appreciating seeing 2 fine young teams in action. And I stress the young, both the Soviet Union and Argentina are trying to develop their squads. It's Kulkov with a sort of tackle that you shouldn't really put before youngsters.
No, certainly not, but I think a little bit of gamesmanship as well, a little bit overreacting as well. I think we've seen an awful lot of that during the World Cup, didn't we? And it just suggests that the Argentinians have still got it in their game.
It was Alfaro Moreno who went down, so a free kick to Argentina. Bisconti got his head to it, and the goalkeeper, well, he had a problem in that Franco was backing into him. But it was the same sort of difficulty that Uvarov showed on Tuesday, not really fancying a physical challenge on a high ball.
Yes, if you remember, England's first goal, in fact, did come from a free kick that went in and Uvarov didn't clear it properly. But just looking at the Argentinian formation very quickly, it looks to me as if they're playing what we would all term a flat back 4, with basically 4 at the back. They're playing 4 in midfield in a kind of diamond shape, with Astrada the number 5, the deep line player, Bisconti the number 9, supporting the front 2.
This is the other number 9 though, Kolivanov. Soviet Union playing with just a 48-hour break, of course, but Argentina have had a difficult trip to get here. They played on Sunday in California, and their journey took them to New York and Toronto and then London before they arrived in Manchester. So they're certainly very anxious to make an impression in their opening match in the competition for the England Challenge Cup.
I did wonder on the way up tonight what kind of game we were going to get. Would it be a typical international, not involving a British side. And would it be patient? Would it be slow? It's actually started very quick. The pace of the game is actually quite good.
The Soviet Union loved to get the ball down and pass it at Wembley, where underfoot it was much truer. And you wonder, looking at this scarred surface, how easy they will be able to settle to that style tonight, and whether indeed it will be the wrong style if they try to play it.
I think had the ground been very hard, Martin, I would tend to agree with you, but when we arrived up here earlier this afternoon, the ground staff at Old Trafford were actually flooding the pitch with water, so it'll actually play a lot better than it looks.
And I have to tell you that the Argentinians were complaining about that. They prefer to play on a dry surface.
Well, they believe that their skills and technical ability will stand up in any situation, don't they?
Dobrovolsky not allowed to get into the play because of Astrada's interception, but Mostovoy's cross met by Bisconti. That's lovely passing here. Cross from Basualdo, not to be confused with the Basualdo who played in Italy. This is Fabian Basualdo, no relation to Jose of Italia 90. Well, Svebar not too impressed at the moment with the way his team are dealing with this fast-raiding Argentina side.
I think just showing that you can't always play yourself out of trouble. The Soviets suffered. When David Platt snatched on the Soviets trying to overplay on Tuesday and got the penalty. I think Svebar there just deciding the best place for this is out the ground. It's certainly the safest.
And it's a corner. That's Vazquez at the far post. Astrada, who'd filled in at the back. Here is Vazquez, the number 2. Tonight's referee is the youngest official of last summer's World Cup, Peter Mikkelsen from Denmark, who's only 31 now. Made a big impression in Italy.
Yeah, it's nice to see he's recovered from that Ian Wright tackle on Tuesday night as well.
When he was running the line at Wembley. We asked him how he was, and he said, more to the point, how's Ian Wright? Here's Kulkov. Just to remind you that that meeting in Naples last summer finished 2-0 to Argentina, but crucial decisions went against the Soviets. They should have had a penalty when Maradona handled, defending at a corner. They also had a player sent off the Soviet Union, Besonov. Remember, if Argentina do win here, it really sets up Saturday's match at Wembley. We would have a genuine final between England and Argentina.
And they've certainly started as if they mean business. Nothing casual about their approach at all at the moment.
Mikkelsen, Dobrovolsky. Polivanov can't get it past Enrique. Well, I must tell you that Enrique had a fearsome reputation as a young player, as a crazy character. He actually played against Liverpool in the World Club Championship a few years back when he was with Independiente. He's the younger brother of the Enrique who played in the '86 World Cup finals, won a winner's medal then. And that was maybe a crazy-looking challenge on Konchevskis, who was lucky he didn't see it coming because he had his back to it. But here's Mikkelsen. Working under pressure. Argentina forcing him back. He has to use Cherchisov. Kulkov. And now Argentina can counter-attack. They've got 3 forward. It's threaded through to Alfaro Moreno. It was Garcia's pass. The Soviet Union do know about Alfaro Moreno. They played against him at Olympic level in Seoul in 1988. He scored, but the Soviet Union won 2-1 and went on to take the gold medal. That's Dobrovolsky. Kolivanov coming into the middle, takes it first time. It was a great try.
He took it first time and was very unlucky, but also took an incredible whack off your old friend Enrique there as well. That was a very difficult chance for Kolivanov. As it came over, it just skips a couple of yards in front of him. It's always difficult to control it. If you just watch as it comes over, it just comes up, and it's difficult to keep down. He does that, and he's very, very close, but takes a whack for his cause there. But that's a chance at both ends within a matter of minutes.
Igor Kolivanov, who has scored 11 goals in 12 games for Dynamo Moscow, and looked like a man in form as he approached that. It was a confident attempt on a difficult surface, and against opposition that may have changed their style tactically, but may not have changed temperamentally.
I think that's always suspect when Argentina play, isn't it? The temperament. If one or two decisions go against them, if they're involved in something controversial, it's always interesting to see how the players react.
Lovely interplay here between Simeone and Alfaro Moreno, who's now slightly miscalculated about the length of the Old Trafford pitch. You might just get a hint of some strapping on that right arm above the wrist. He was actually bitten by a dog in Argentina, which is, of course, a fairly topical subject at the moment in this country. Franco. This time it's Enrique wanting to come forward and show he can play with the ball as well as try and claim it in a fearsome manner. Basualdo. Garcia is new to international football, but he has been playing in France with Lyon. It's only Garcia's second cap. He was sent off in his first international. It was a 3-3 draw against Brazil back in March, where Garcia got his first call up and didn't last the 90 minutes. Kolivanov's made an excellent run. Sveber tried to find him. Good work by Bisconti. Here's Garcia. Astrada.
I think what is noticeable, even when the tackles go in, not a great deal in this tackle, but don't they make the most of them?
Well, Garcia's okay. And Bisconti takes the free kick. That's Enrique trying to take it on the half volley. Here's Simeone, who is actually wearing number 9, and Bisconti is 10. So they haven't stuck to the numbers on the official team list, and I just wonder whether Simeone declined the offer to wear Maradona's shirt.
Certainly is a hard act to follow, isn't it? It's one of those times you wonder if you should take a little leaf out of American football sometimes and retire a shirt when people such as Pele and Maradona have worn them with such distinction over the years.
That's Bisconti. He's the 10. Here's Mikkelsen. Now Dobrovolsky, and in the end didn't give Vazquez too much of a problem. Alfaro Moreno. Franco. There is a free-wheeling attacking spirit about Argentina that we certainly didn't see from them in the World Cup. The new coach Basile has made a point of saying that he wasn't too happy with the abiding philosophy of Carlos Bilardo. But how can you argue with a man who took a side that wasn't playing well to the very World Cup final itself? Garcia.
I don't think anyone could argue with him taking him there. I think it's the way he took them there that I think a lot of people objected to, wasn't it?
At the moment, there is a slight weariness you feel about the Soviet Union, not only having played on Tuesday, but having spent most of Wednesday travelling. Now Bisconti is very much the free kick specialist. It's got to be taken again. Peter Mikkelsen trying to get the Soviet wall back. Actually, Bisconti moved it a yard to his right, hoping to sneak away past the wall. He takes it, and it was a good try. And the referee has pointed straight away for a goal kick. So was that the crossbar rather than the goalkeeper's fingers?
No, it's definitely the goalkeeper's fingers, wasn't it? As Bisconti bends it over, and Cherchesov taking no chances. Oh, it's actually the crossbar. It did fool us all.
Didn't fool the referee, that's what mattered.
Well, would you believe it? He was right and we were wrong for once.
You were wrong, Andy, actually. Here's Mikkelsen. Inside him is Mostovoy. Goycochea, who now plays in Buenos Aires for Racing Club and has a sideline doing male modelling as well, which apparently has been a great boost to his income. Such a hero in Argentina after that World Cup performance.
I think where the Soviets are finding it difficult as well is in the midfield area, where they enjoyed an awful lot of possession against England on Tuesday night. The Argentinians are not allowing them that. They're putting them under immediate pressure as soon as the ball comes into that midfield area, and are forcing them at times to play it longer than they certainly would have liked. They certainly would like, and certainly they did on Tuesday.
Shalimov. Dobrovolsky. Now Stebar. Shalimov staying on the left as he did against England. It's rather sold Kulkov short. Again, it's the weighting of the pass on a pitch that is variable, to say the least. Manchester United well aware that if they are going to stake a claim for more international football, they do have to improve the playing surface here. And one would say if they're ever going to get a team to win the championship, they've got to improve it as well. Kulkov. Kolivanov finding himself deep. Mikkelsen, Kolivanov, Shalimov to the left. Kolivanov trying to slide it through to Mostovoy, and Goycochea got more of a sight of the ball than Mostovoy would have liked.
Yeah, but a wonderful move. Notice what Kolivanov had to come really deep there to get involved in the play. But it was a super positive run right into the heart of the Argentinian defence. And the only thing that let Mostovoy down was his first touch, really. He let it get a little bit too far away from him.
Mikkelsen. Mostovoy looking for Kolivanov. First try blocked by Vazquez. 3 waiting for the cross. Dobrovolsky making a 4th. Now Shalimov. Good movement by the Soviet Union, including the arrival of Kulkov on the far side. And here comes Galyamin. It's Kulkov who wrong-footed the defence momentarily. Galyamin gets it across. Starting to see what Argentina are made of defensively. They've got Ruggeri there, who's been through so many battles for them. Dobrovolsky, Mostovoy, it's offside. Very disappointing for the Soviet Union. At the end of their best minute of the match, really.
Oh, best 5 minutes. They've had a really tremendous 5 minutes when they've kept the ball away from the Argentinians from the first time in the match. And that was very, very close. Mostovoy could not have been far away from being offside. Timed his run perfectly. And if Dobrovolsky, as he releases the ball, when you look at that run, there's not an awful lot in that mark. We don't get a great view of it there, but it's very, very, very close.
Yes, I was just looking along using the edge of the penalty area as a marker then, with the defender standing a foot or so inside it on the far side as we looked. And as the ball was played, I would have thought Mostovoy would have been level with him. The linesman is the referee at Wembley on Saturday, the Yugoslav Zoran Petrovic. We've got the same problem as we had in the World Cup. We've got referees acting as linesmen. And remember that FIFA have already said that that won't happen again in the next World Cup.
I think that's sensible. I think if they take teams out, take a team from each country, a referee and 2 linesmen, and let them work together, it's far more sensible.
Dobrovolsky starting to be an influence in the Soviet midfield. Galyamin is the number 5. Mikkelsen. Dobrovolsky again. Kolivanov. Mikkelsen. Well, it was a shot, and Konchelskis has reached it. Goycochea started to come, he's on his way back. And the ball was blocked initially by Simeone. Lovely work by Alfaro Moreno. In the end, used an arm. But at the moment, Argentina haven't quite worked out who should be getting closest to Dobrovolsky.
What he's done, though, is he's actually dropped a lot deeper. He started off right up front. And it's noticeable when he has dropped deeper and got involved, they've looked far more positive. But here we find him up front. It's as if they haven't really got positions apart from basically Kolivanov, who they like to keep up front on his own. The rest of them are free to go wherever they like. And it is very difficult unless you've got very disciplined players. And I think that's something as well that we'll have a doubt about the Argentinians. Unless you've got real disciplined players, you've got to follow them everywhere. It's very difficult to mark players like that.
Well, Astrada might want to put some blame underfoot at that miscue. This Soviet policy somewhat forced on the coach Biscovets, because one of his strikers, Yuran, is not fit, although he is here and will be available to play in the European Championship against Cyprus on Wednesday, which is a top priority, of course, for the Soviet Union. Simeone chasing. And another striker who is a substitute today, Sergio, has been suffering with the flu. And Biscovets, a great goal scorer himself in his international playing days, scored 4 goals in the World Cup finals of 1970 in Mexico. He was lamenting this morning that his options are a bit limited, so he will expect his midfield players to support Kolivanov as often as possible. Shalimov.
It's actually the formation that England themselves ended up playing, wasn't it, on Tuesday night, with basically Alan Smith up on his own, and England with 5 players in midfield, and really David Platt finds himself up there in the last minute, edge of the box, scoring a fine third goal.
Kolivanov, oh, it's a sweet turn again. And Argentina deal with it only with difficulty, but they've looked pretty threatening themselves. Garcia. Here's Sveber. Astrada getting a toe in again. Ooh, Basualdo was a little wild, and Mostovoy did well to keep out of the way. Sveber is the defender who is injured. That's the new Argentinian coach standing up, doing the gesticulating. Alfio Basile, known as Coco to his friends.
If I'm not mistaken, Mark, was he a member, a player that some Celtic fans, if they're watching tonight, have cause to remember? Didn't he take part in the Battle of Montevideo many years ago?
He did, yes. He played in all those 3 games in that notorious World Club Championship. "27 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. Problems for the Soviet Union, and an important defender in Sveber. Has to go off, and they're going to continue the treatment down on the bench. No, Kuznetsov is ready to come on. Well, in many ways, this is an excellent tournament for the Soviet Union to be involved in as preparation for a European Championship tie, but it loses some of its value if you lose players through it. And Simeone suggesting that Dobrovolsky made more of that than was necessary. And Ruggeri, who always likes to get involved. It's the side of Argentinian football, well, it's a constant failing in their game. You think back to that World Cup quarter-final at Wembley in 1966 when Ratin was sent off, and had he stayed on, who knows whether England would have got beyond the quarter-final. They were a good side then. That's a yellow card for Garcia.
Well, we did say that their temperament was always in question. And we've just seen a couple of incidents that just suggest that that's something that they haven't cured.
Kulkov. Now Kolivanov. Kulkov. Shalimov. Kolivanov let it run. Very late too, in a way that almost made an opening for Dobrovolsky, and the Soviets showing that they can dish it out as well. This may be a match not to stage in front of the children.
We just do hear from the bench, Martin, that Sveber's actually got a badly swollen ankle, which suggests that it's more or less a knock, but with, as you say, a European Championship match and a very important one coming up, it's no surprise that Biscovets is taking no chances and not risking any of his players.
Kuznetsov, who played against England and has happy memories of Britain because he got the winning goal against Scotland in February.
Thank you.
I should say, to balance that out. Of course, last year Scotland beat Argentina with a splendid goal from Stuart McKimmie. Shalimov. Now Dobrovolsky. There's no offside this time. Oh, and Kolivanov showing how elusive he is again. Mikkelsen. And the second time, in fact, was more concerned in trying to win a penalty than spin into a second shot. And the referee Mikkelsen was having none of it. Brought out by Alfaro Moreno, taken on by Bisconti. Mikkelsen looked ruefully at the referee. Here's Garcia. Kept in initially by Alfaro Moreno, but the Soviet Union wondering whether they might have had a penalty a moment or two ago. Alexei Mikkelsen, who, to my mind, really spurned the chance of a second shot.
Yes, he did. It was a magnificent play from Kolivanov. The trouble was it was just behind him, as you can see. But you have to give the Argentinians credit. They got three bodies round the ball. There was a nudge there from Simeone, but I think that you're quite right. Mikkelsen looking for the penalty rather than trying to get a second shot in.
Maybe a legacy of his time in Italy. Simeone is down, and it's all getting a little out of hand at the moment. And Ruggeri, who was described to me by John Toshak when John was in charge of Ruggeri at Real Madrid. Ruggeri knows every dirty trick that's in the book and some that aren't. But he's here as captain of Argentina in succession to Maradona. He is a very hard man, but he's trying to argue here that the Soviet Union have been roughing up his team. Dobrovolsky, who actually is playing in Spain at the moment with Castellón.
Well, that would be almost be a first, wouldn't it? Some team are roughing up Argentina more than Argentina rough up anyone else.
We remember the red cards that Argentina got in the World Cup, but there were even more red cards for teams playing against them. And when they played the United States last Sunday, there was an American sent off.
Well, does that surprise you somehow?
It's almost as if Ruggeri is the Ratin of this generation. Similar build, certainly similar authority, and the willingness to challenge the referee's authority.
This has definitely got an edge about it now, this game, Martin. It's just bubbling under as well. It wouldn't take much to send it over the top.
Enrique. There's an offside now against Bisconti. Dario Bisconti, 22 years old, plays with Rosario Central. Konchelskis. Now Kulkov. Because the ball isn't running as true as it would at Wembley, say, it is allowing some of these challenges to come in. And that's been the irritant to both teams. Kuznetsov. Shalimov, who got a lot of the ball at Wembley, but didn't always put it to the best of use. Dobrovolsky, Kuznetsov. Oh, it deflects to Kolivanov through the centre. And the referee says, get on with it. It was Mostovoy who flung himself to the ground. Konchelskis, everybody froze, expecting the whistle. Attackers and defenders. And even the referee himself didn't give a genuine sign to wave play on. He just didn't do anything.
I don't know if he had an excellent view of it, Martin, to be totally honest with you, but it does suggest with both sets of players freezing and expecting the whistle that they may have had a case there, the Soviets. I certainly think Mostovoy made a great deal of it, and perhaps too much in the referee's mind. As you see it come across here, he lets it run in turns. Enrique certainly puts his left foot there, and I certainly think there was cause for a penalty there. But I don't believe that the referee had a great view of it.
Mikkelsen, Mostovoy, and this time he has given it.
Third time lucky.
A penalty to the Soviet Union with 10 minutes to go in this tough first half, and it's the number 10, Mostovoy, who thought he had a penalty a minute earlier and has one now.
Yes, it comes in. I think Mikkelsen's actually trying for the shot, but Mostovoy gets hold of it, and I don't think there can be any doubts this time. He's just bowled completely over. I think even Argentina couldn't complain too much, although they did try a little bit.
And what we're seeing now is plenty of gamesmanship at the penalty, and of course it's a chance to see the great penalty shot stopper of the World Cup, Goycochea. He saved 2 in the quarter-final shootout against Yugoslavia. He saved 2 sensationally in the semi-final in Naples to knock out Italy. And the Soviet Union will know all about his reputation, for they've got a character of high caliber of their own in Dobrovolsky. We've had an almost 2-minute delay before the penalty is taken. Oh, and Goycochea has got another one on his list. And it wasn't the most difficult save he's ever had to make. And Dobrovolsky's nerve totally failed him.
Oh, somehow you feel it was inevitable, wasn't it? Dobrovolsky's so casual here when he's taking the penalty. Goycochea guesses the right way, and having done that, the rest was easy.
Well, this match is being beamed live to Argentina, where his considerable status is now increased, and Dobrovolsky, well, loses a point or two here. The Soviet player of 1990 didn't live up to the billing when it came to a penalty against the goalkeeper, who's shown himself to be world-class in those situations.
You mark my words, any time that any Argentinian goes down in the box, you watch the players round the referee.
Kolivanov. Well, the Soviet Union took the lead against England and then lost the match. They had the golden opportunity here to go in front, and they fluffed it. And Garcia it was, I think, who pushed down Mostovoy. Ruggeri. Well, if we do get the World Cup here in 1998, I think we've got a flavour of what's to come, because this is very competitive.
I think that's where we've been lucky so far this week, isn't it? Normally, competitions like this, international competitions at the end of the season, can be a big letdown. The players just get through the motions. But I think the fact we have basically 3 new managers in charge of all the countries involved here is an incentive for all the players involved to do well.
Yes, it was a point you made about England, and it certainly applies to both these teams as well. There aren't too many regulars on view who are sure of their status in the international side. There is, of course, the likes of Ruggeri, Mikkelsen for the Soviet Union. Their future is pretty assured. But so many of the others know that a good tournament here could really mean the takeoff for their careers. Mostovoy. Good header by Vazquez, retrieved though by Shalimov. Mikkelsen. Here's Konchelskis, who's learnt a few words of English, and beer is one of them that I picked up and had a chat with him. I wonder who taught him that at Manchester United. Here's Franco. Bisconti not getting beyond Kulkov. Argentina are unbeaten under their new coach, Basile. They played 4, won 2 and drawn 2. But they are fortunate not to be behind here. And the referee's seen some obstruction off the ball. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Oh, and Kolivanov saw a gap on the far side, and it was a clever attempt, even if the referee wasn't going to allow him to get away with it. Goycochea was still setting up the wall. They haven't been able to beat him from 12 yards. What can they do from around the 22-yard mark? Dobrovolsky wanting to be involved again. Kulkov is the number 3 on the right of your picture. And 1 or 2 lurking to the right of Dobrovolsky if it's played wide of the wall. Dobrovolsky hits the wall, bangs it back again. Enrique. Great work from him. No offside. This is Alfaro Moreno. Bisconti has got into the middle. Well, those waiting in the centre were a little disappointed that the cross didn't come a moment or two earlier. There's great support on the far side there. And yet again, we must pay credit to the organisers here at Old Trafford for spreading the gospel, really.
I think you're right. I think when you have games like this, it's nice for the kids in the provinces to be able to come to local grounds and watch games, and never more so than tonight. There are absolutely thousands of them in Old Trafford.
Garcia. It's a corner to Argentina. So Bisconti to take the corner. Garcia is right in there. Dealt with by Konchelskis. Enrique trying to fire it back. Cross from Bisconti. Goes Ruggeri and Franco. And that's Cherchesov's. But he's thrown it straight to Vazquez and put his teammates in trouble. The reserve goalkeeper, Stanislav Cherchesov, couldn't throw the ball long enough. They retrieved it, and Garcia was really cut down there. Chernyshov was the culprit. Well, it's in these positions that you miss Maradona. Alfio Basile has made it quite clear to Diego Maradona that during his suspension he's very welcome at the training camp at any time that the national team get together, which is a lovely show of faith at Maradona's lowest point in his life, let alone his career. A minute to go to half-time. Bisconti. Oh, and Ruggeri, the captain for Argentina.
Well, it's quite incredible. Having dominated the first half, they go and concede another goal that really Cherchesov and the Soviet goal will be... I mean, his defenders must be furious at this. This is a goalkeeper's ball. He must come and collect that. Look how close Ruggeri is. I mean, he's not going to miss that. And the goalkeeper, I don't know where he was.
Bisconti played it to the far post area, and that is into the goalkeeper's territory, but he was rooted to his line, and Ruggeri, very much. So the Soviet Union, who could have easily gone in at half-time a goal up, are more than likely to reach the dressing room a goal adrift. And possibly that situation points up the difference in quality between the two goalkeepers. Goycochea, established by the World Cup with all the confidence that that brings, but Cherchesov playing for only the 4th time tonight. Really didn't show the authority that was demanded of him at that free kick.
I mean, it wasn't even one of those difficult decisions, Martin, where you can wonder whether he was right to come or whether he was right to stay. I mean, he was just totally wrong. It was there, it was food and drink for him, and he was just rooted to his line.
Simeone. So Oscar Ruggeri, the survivor from the '86 World Cup winning team, has given Argentina the lead, and Sergio Goycochea has added another penalty to his catalogue of saves, this time at the expense of Igor Dobrovolsky. But Ruggeri, who's been such a great servant to Argentinian football in his own abrasive way, has made a timely contribution. Their first goal in the England Challenge Cup, and it takes us, the two main participants there, exchanging mutual admiration, really. It takes us a step closer towards a special England-Argentina confrontation on Saturday, but still 45 minutes to go here. It's Argentina 1, the Soviet Union 0. The Soviet Union start the second half. Argentina piecing their side together for the forthcoming Copa America, the South American International Championships, which take place in July. And they lead by 1-0. This is Mostovoy. Such a fresh Argentinian team, but the two main characters for them in the first half, their two most experienced players, Ruggeri the scorer and Goycochea the goalkeeper. Incidentally, the coach Carlos Bilardo is now running a schools coaching project in Argentina. He's a qualified doctor, but having given up the international job, twice taken Argentina to the World Cup final, once winning and once losing, of course, he didn't fancy going back to medicine. Garcia, stopped by Shalimov. How much steam is left in the Soviet Union after the tiring travelling, and having played on Tuesday night at Wembley in a very fast-tempoed game. And indeed, the Argentinian coach, the current Argentinian coach, Basile, watched the match at Wembley and was impressed with England. Particularly, he mentioned David Blatt, no surprise in that, and he was very impressed with Jeff Thomas as well, for his athletic contribution to midfield. This is Shalimov. Oh, and Mikkelsen. Well, there was no offside as he looked to slip it through to Kolivanov, whose first touch has been so good so far in this match until then.
Yes, just when he needed it most as well. Mikkelsen shows great vision when most people would have expected him to have had a go himself. He just slips it to the side, and Kolivanov, whose touch has been so assured tonight, just lets it slip away from him.
Bisconti helping it on, stopped by Kuznetsov, a substitute for Sveba. Kolivanov getting the better of Vazquez. Shalimov. Francesca's the outlet to the right if they want to use that. Here's Kuznetsov. Mostovoy's gone to the far post, and Kuznetsov dragged down by Franco. Well, we think of the great Soviet side of 1986 around that time. This obviously is not the finished product yet, but there's plenty of promise in the way they're playing. They haven't had the best of fortune in this tournament. Mikkelsen having a good look at it. And Kolivanov is there as well. Kolivanov takes it, and a goal! 1-1. And Goycochea got to it, but could only really shovel it up into the net.
Well, we'll pay him tribute for the penalty, but I have to question him here. I think Kolivanov hits it well enough, but Goycochea gets there, and what I think he tries to do, he tries to shovel it round the goalpost. If you just watch it here, he's in a perfect position. Look at that. He moves one step there. He just tries to shovel it round the goalpost. If he'd have got across and got both hands to it, I think he would have saved that. I think it's an error on his part. But you have to see that it's a goal that is certainly, on the general play, Soviet Union have deserved.
Kolivanov, who's been scoring so regularly in the Soviet First Division, and he's got an international goal here. And his heart beating faster. Goycochea has really tasted the highs and the lows of goalkeeping this evening. A little bit of information for you about the crowd here tonight. They were trying very hard to get a bigger attendance than at Wembley, but they failed by, if my maths are correct, 46 people.
But one of the gates wasn't working up here. But I think
maybe there'll be a few latecomers to boost that. 23,743.
Tremendous tribute.
It is a tribute to the people of Manchester and their love of the game. And of course, they're on such a high in the international sense. The European Cup Winners' Cup was paraded round here at half-time that Manchester United brought back from Rotterdam. Here's Bisconti.
Just thinking back to the goal, Mark, and I suppose it's justice in the end when you see that how Franco just dragged it, the Kolivanov down for the free kick, and they've been punished for it. I mean, they do it so often, it's just part of their game, but that time they got punished.
Well, we've had 6 minutes in the second half, and the Soviet Union have put the time to good use. Dobrovolsky's penalty miss doesn't assume such significance now. Chernyshov has come forward, tall number 2. Dobrovolsky trying to play a little triangle there on the edge of the area. Bisconti. Bisconti again, and the Soviet Union rippling with confidence at the moment. Galliamin trying to reverse it back, and he's rather left his team in trouble. Alfaro Moreno against Kulkov, trying to get into the penalty area, and in the end he was forced wide by the defender. Did well to deliver the cross under such a challenge from Kulkov, but I think his first target was to give Kulkov a problem in tackling and try and make him look for the ball inside his own penalty area and risk the referee evening the count as far as the penalty calls are concerned tonight.
Yeah, Kulkov did everything right there. He got himself in a position where he knew he didn't have to tackle him, but just usher him as far away from goal as possible.
It's Kolivanov again from a ball dinked in towards the near post by Shalimov. Goycochea on the move out, and I just wonder if Kolivanov had wrapped his left foot around that, catching the keeper coming off his line, and he might have got a second. Garcia. Handball by Kulkov. Alfaro Moreno against Galliamin and Konchelskis, so Galliamin comes up with the ball. Oh, there's another lovely first-time ball from Kolivanov. Oh, and Dobrovolsky saw Goycochea starting to move out, wondering whether the what looked the only ball on back to Kolivanov through the centre was in Dobrovolsky's mind, but he tried, I suppose, what will always be known as Pelé style, to score what would have been an outrageous goal and certainly would have made up for his penalty miss.
I think fair to say that his confidence didn't be harmed too much with that penalty miss, eh?
Konchelskis. Good tackle by Garcia, then in turn by Mikkelsen for the Soviet Union. Alfaro Moreno. Well, there's nothing cautious about this match. Shalimov. Mostovoy, Kuznetsov going to the left. He's got two to the right as well. He opts for the safer pass. Kolivanov. And again, but he took it with a hand. And Enrique, in passing, introduced Kolivanov, or perhaps we should say reintroduced him to an elbow.
Well, you did warn us about our old mate Enrique there, right at the beginning of this match.
Sometimes those reassuring pats end up as hair-pulling exercises, but I think that one was genuine enough. Well, Kolivanov is giving Argentina a host of problems. Astrada, back for Vazquez. Enrique. Now Bisconti, brought out by Kulkov. Mikkelsen available. Shalimov wants it from him. Dobrovolsky staying wide on the left, but not there.
Shalimov has actually had a tremendous game tonight. I was pretty disappointed with him at Wembley on Tuesday night. I thought he was fairly quiet, but I think tonight he's been much more effective for the Soviets.
Well, still 3 years, of course, to the next World Cup, but you do tend to look at these occasions at individual players to say, well, he might be the one come the tournament in the United States in 1994. Galliamin. What you can say about these two teams, that most of the players have got age on their side, and if they're good enough, and the country qualifies, of course, they've got a great chance of being involved in the United States. Kolivanov actually in the middle was offside, and not Mostovoy, who was closer to the ball.
Like, both very young teams, and it's both interesting to see which stage they're both at. I think it's obvious from the two games that I've watched the Soviets this week that they are certainly ahead of Argentina at this time, Martin. They look much better equipped. They look comfortable with each other, and tonight we've seen the advantage of having more options on the park. When they've had the ball, they've been able to pick and choose passes. They've had more options than Argentina, but Argentina have worked very, very hard, and their game is based on being very solid and uncompromising at the back.
Simeone, Bisconti, and maybe a bit more than that. This is a splendid attack. Garcia, can they round it off? Franco, who's the player who's been getting the goals for Basile since he took over. 3 in 4 games before tonight. Shalimov of Spartak Moscow. Well, we're coming up to the 15-minute mark in the second half. Argentina won. The Soviet Union won. That might change here. A mistake by Franco. Kolivanov. Dobrovolsky. And Franco got back. So Argentina at the moment finding it hard to get out of their own half, but Franco went in a two-footed tackle then. The second time he went in a more orthodox way and didn't get the ball. Shalimov. We're going to bring on Sergeyev, the Soviet Union. Neat piece of tidying up there by Astrada, the anchor man in midfield. Sergeyev waits for the ball to go out of play. Galliamin doesn't help him, but the Soviet Union, I think, clearly believing that they can win this game. Kuznetsov, Mikhalichenko. 7 players forward for the Soviet Union. Flick by Mostovoy, and Kolivanov very nearly the sharpest attacker again. And Mostovoy is going to be taken off. So the substitute at Wembley is substituted himself tonight. And there's half an hour for Oleg Sergeyev, a striker from the CSKA club in Moscow, the army club. Dobrovolsky, Mikhalichenko's there, has to take it first time, and Chernyshov.
Fair to say a defender's effort at goal there, wasn't it? Probably dropped to the wrong man for the Soviets. But if the Soviets have committed one crime in this tournament so far, I do feel it's the one that they haven't scored when they've been on top. They've dominated the game at Wembley for long periods and didn't score, and England made them pay for it. And certainly tonight, it would be fair to say that for the majority of the game, the Soviets have been on top. But they only have that one goal to show for it.
Yes, once or twice, even Mikhalichenko's not been as convincing in front of goal as perhaps when he's been playing more regularly at club level. The player who's sat on Sampdoria's bench for the last couple of months with just the occasional involvement as a substitute. Alfaro Moreno. Good tackle by Galliamin, who did play well at Wembley. Kuznetsov. Simeone scurrying to win it back. His Italian club, Pisa, have just been relegated. Garcia. Now Franco. Basualdo. Shalimov showing he can defend as well as probe forward on the left-hand side. Argentina, under Basile, do like to get their two full-backs to attack. There haven't been so many opportunities in this game. Garcia. Basualdo can cross here. And Franco felt that there might be a teammate behind him. He was wrong. Oh, well, there was no contact there at all. And that really was from the realms of theatre. But he's not content to pick himself up, Dario Franco. Whether in trying to get a free kick he's damaged himself, the medical men will know. Ruggeri puts the ball out. Well, they produced teams often to enjoy the performance, but there's this side of their game. In fact, he's doing the fouling. And then that comes from the ice skating manual, I think.
If he's injured,
Pirouette.
He's probably got injured in the twist and turn that he made there as he fell over. And what are we doing? It's obvious. He's looked up and he's noticed he hasn't got the free kick, and he's probably saying, well, I better just stay down and pretend that I've got some sort of injury. Quite incredible.
I'm sure one or two of his teammates will be giving him some advice as to how to do it a bit better. But sportingly, Kolivanov throws the ball back to Argentina, and they really didn't deserve that. I'd have just got on with the game, wouldn't you, Andy?
Well, I never threw it back to the opponent's mark.
Here's Enrique. 1-1 here at Old Trafford. Forward from Bisconti. And here's Alfaro Moreno. You do sense that Argentina have got still enough to offer in attack. Garcia, is it going to be a corner? Not quite. Referee looks across at the linesman on the far side. I don't think Enrique's expected to get the throw. He wasn't settling for it. Certainly
wasn't the type of a control you associate with a South American, was it?
Now Ruggeri, whose goal was wiped out by Kolivanov's free kick early in the second half. Simeone. Well, he scored on Sunday at Juventus. As Pisa were beaten 4-2, the match that put them mathematically down. Kanchelskis. And the Manchester United fans getting behind their player. But getting in front of him was Astrada. "25 minutes left in this competition for the English Challenge Cup. Mikkelsen, that's beautifully hit. By far his best shot of the tournament. And Goycochea was panicking towards the post, where he was beaten by Kolivanov's free kick.
Yes, I'm not so sure if he'd have got there either. You see, it's just bouncing nicely. It just sits up and Mikkelsen hits it perfectly. And really, Goycochea, you can see how late he is going for that. He would really have been struggling to get that had it been on target.
On from Astrada. But Argentina committing players forward, including Enrique, and Kuznetsov takes it away from Cherchesov and settles for the corner. And the goalkeeper doesn't have any complaints about that. The defender accepting his responsibility. Now, with the manner of Ruggeri's goal, I wonder how close Argentina will want to put the ball to the goalkeeper, who seems to like to stay on his line. That's Vazquez who heads it past the post.
I think where the Soviets will be happy tonight is where on Tuesday, when England realised that the Soviet Union were struggling in there at the back, they're quite happy to put the ball in there. But Argentina don't play the game like that. They're not content to have a big man up front and put it in there and give them trouble. They try to play it in, play it along the ground, and I think that suited the Soviet Union tonight at the back.
Galliamin. Kuznetsov. Well, they've looked left so often. It's Dobrovolsky out there this time. Dobrovolsky's actually owned by the Italian club Genoa. He's got a 5-year contract, but they can't accommodate him at the moment. There are 3 foreigners doing particularly well, especially Skuravi, the Czechoslovakian, and Aguilera from Uruguay. And they've got the Brazilian Franco, who's made an impact as well. So Dobrovolsky being loaned out to Spain. Which is a side of the game that any English player should be aware of if he's thinking or is lucky enough to receive an offer to go to Italy. Incidentally, as Pisa went down, Bari was safe in Italy at the weekend, and David Platt, although he turned them down, sent a message of congratulations to the club. Typical of his attention to public relations. Here's a credit to the game. I just wonder now, we've reached the stage where the schedules of the two teams are starting to tell against the shape of the match. It's the side that finds the second win quicker that might be the winner. If it stays level, of course, the Soviet Union can't win the England Challenge Cup, but Argentina could if they beat England at Wembley. Enrique, pass Mikkelsen, 5 up for Argentina, only 4 back for the Soviet Union. Enrique shoots, it hits Chernyshov, and now Konchelskis, who is freed for once from the responsibilities on the right-hand side. And offside against Kolivanov, it's no goal. Kolivanov's only 23. In fact, he looks younger.
And he looks as if he'll be one of these people that I think in 3 years' time that we'll be talking about in the World Cup.
Argentina have made a change. They've taken off Bisconti. And they brought on number 16, Sergio Berti. Another of the long-haired brigade. But he's... doesn't favour the ponytail style. There are 3 members of the squad of 20 here who I think would perhaps be running the gauntlet if they run out at Wembley with that length of hair.
It's always been one of my ambitions to be able to have enough hair to want a ponytail.
Yes, it will remain an unfulfilled ambition.
I think so.
It's just as well, because I wouldn't be sitting alongside you if you did have one. They might talk. Here's Mikkelsen. But some of the Argentinian players very much with the pop star image, very popular at the team's hotel with the local young ladies. Shalimov. Oh, and it's over Dobrovolsky. Mikkelsen. And Argentina play on the break again with Alfaro Moreno, who tends to run in straight lines, it seems. Garcia, oh, and Berti pulled back. Now the referee could reach for a red card here. He's got to go off. Chernyshov. It clearly was about to be an opportunity for the substitute.
Yes, I don't think he's got any complaints. Under the new rules, you see, Berti's right through. Chernyshov just pulls him back, and really there, the referee has got no option. And you see no complaint from any player. They know the rules now.
Well, shades of the World Cup, with Bessanov sent off in Naples. So the Soviet Union again have to labour with 10 men, although Simeone needs some treatment.
Getting some treatment. He was the one that got in the way of the Mikkelsen shot there, and he would have needed stomach muscles like Mike Tyson not to have felt it.
17 minutes to go, so the pendulum perhaps swinging Argentina's way. It's Vazquez Having a look at the Soviet wall, he's the number 2. Simeone has recovered to come up and do some pointing there at the wall. Doesn't really look back the full 10 yards. Clipped by Vazquez and not quite the elevation. I don't think there was enough pace on it anyway. Cherchesov had seen it coming and was moving along his line. A corner taken from outside the quadrant, that shouldn't be allowed. On Cherchesov, gets it, Ruggeri wants to argue the toss. Technically, the corner shouldn't have been taken because the linesman hadn't spotted that the ball was actually outside the quadrant, but once it came in...
But once it comes in, we can see Cherchesov again, not commanding enough, and Ruggeri's got every right to go after it. Oh, dear, but he's not got any right to do that. You can see why Mikkelsen was furious with him.
You try and tell him he's not got any right to do that. It's a push by Vazquez into a painful 1-2 on Kolivanov. It's a yellow card.
And I think if England players needed any reminding of what kind of game they were going to get on Saturday, I think they were watching this tonight, then the front lads not only better put some shin pads on, but better get some cotton wool down the back of their calves as well. This is the kind of thing that will be coming. Takes it and gets whacked from behind.
Well, if it's going to be Messerschmidt and Lineker up front for England, it might be a test of their famous calm temperaments. I'm sure they'll cope if selected.
Well, I have no doubts about that.
15 minutes to go. The Soviet Union down to 10 men, but it's still 1-1. Kuznetsov now having to play in the back line, and 2 defenders have gone for different reasons. Faber injured early in the match, and Chernyshov sent off.
And is Dobrovolsky going to play a sweeper? I find it quite amazing. He's away back there picking up the ball.
Franco. Garcia. Dobrovolsky trying to act as a defender, but unsuccessfully. He was flying in then. And really was tackling like a forward. And by that I mean not making much contact with the ball. Well, Ruggeri is right in the pack again. And it's hung up for the goalkeeper to punch weakly. Vazquez heads it back, and it was Kuznetsov. Cherchesov, I'm afraid, isn't doing his future international prospects a great deal of good. And he's still under the microscope here. Good work at the near post by Konchelskis. Soviet Union pushing out. There is an offside too.
We spoke of this Soviet Union side the last couple of games, and they do possess many tremendous qualities, especially in their outfield play. But I just wonder if Anatoly Bishevets is sitting here just wishing he had a Lev Yashin or a Dasayev to call upon, because they've certainly looked very shaky in that department.
Funny enough, it was for the match against Argentina last year that Dasayev was dropped. Here's Kolivanov, though, for the 10 men. It's a great show of enterprise. Play on. Basualdo might just have brushed him with an arm, but nothing more seriously than that. This is Shalimov. Free kick this time. He's fallen a long way into the area as Ruggeri put out a foot. So it's a free kick right on the edge. Well, both teams a long way from home, but totally committed to this international in Manchester. Oh, Mikkelsen, it's on his weaker foot, and I'm afraid it showed.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, there was an awful lot of spin on the ball, wasn't there, as it came across the face of the 18-yard box, and it's very rutty there as well, and to give him the benefit of the doubt, it wasn't an easy one to make contact with.
11 minutes left. And not too many heading for the exits, I must say, which is great credit to both teams. It's been an absorbing evening. And here's Kolivanov, who's had a great game. Mikkelsen in the centre. Sergio, the substitute, was coming in as well. And Berti gets it back to his own goalkeeper without batting an eyelid. Enrique. Here's Alfaro Moreno, who's been prepared to chase and try and hold the ball up. Help from Franco, and behind him from Astrada. Enrique. Infield of him is Astrada, but Sergio blocked an attempted cross. Berti. Alfaro Moreno, just for the first time really looking a little sluggish as he tried to chase a pass that was relatively misplaced. Again, Enrique impressive in possession. Berti, Garcia. They do mix it up well, do Argentina. Galliamin took Garcia out on the touchline. The referee was trying to play an advantage for Argentina. Not easy to do that when Ruggeri's around. Here's the Shalimov. To cope with the pitch as well as the opposition. Oh, Mikkelsen showed some studs then. Well, they're quite prepared to dish it out, but they're not too happy when they see a little of it being repaid in kind.
I mean, he does go in with the studs, but to be fair to Mikkelsen, does nothing but go for the ball. His eyes were totally on it and makes great contact with it. But it's amazing, the two players that kick lumps out people every game, the two centre-backs, Vazquez and Ruggeri, are the first players over to the referee complaining.
Well, I think you're being a bit kind to Mikkelsen.
Well, I would have been picking him up and saying, great tackle, big man.
Unless you were playing against him. Here's Galliamin. Konchelskis almost in his way. Kolivanov. Here's Berti. Simeone. Hasn't wasted too much when the ball's been at his feet. There's an expression, open the gates, with players like Alfaro Moreno. When they do push the ball like that and want to chase after it, the pitch never seems big enough.
I was never that quick enough in my playing days to have ever that term thrown at me.
Dobrovolsky deep again. Kuznetsov, and I must say, the Soviet Union haven't given too much sign of having this one player short. They've still tried to win the match.
I don't think they've enjoyed the best of luck, have they, in the two games that they've played. They've really contributed tremendously to the entertainment of both games. And I'd like to see them get something. I know it would be better for us and for Argentina to win, to give us just that cup final attitude on Saturday. But the Soviets certainly deserve something from the two games.
And Basualdo angry at the foul by Sergio. Yes, why didn't you show the card?
It is a friendly, is it? Yeah.
No, it's not. It's for the England Challenge Cup, which is clearly being taken as one of the world's major tournaments. They're looking forward to seeing the trophy, which the FA went out and bought a couple of weeks ago. The Soviet Union, in fact, get given their medals here tonight because they won't be around on Saturday. They make their way back to Moscow tomorrow, leaving behind some pleasant memories for those who've seen them play. And it's their ball here. 6 minutes left. Here's Mikkelsen. Olivanov showing again, but beaten to it that time by Vazquez. Garcia still full of running. And Dobrovolsky finding it's not an easy life at the back.
Maybe not be easy, but when you possess that ability, you can always produce something, can't you?
Argentina are travelling down to London by bus tomorrow. They're calling in at Wembley on the way for a reconnaissance mission. It's a tight schedule for them to have to play England so soon after this demanding match. Well anticipated by Mikkelsen. Shalimov, held up by Basualdo. And then dispossessed Kuznetsov. Garcia. It looked very promising for a moment, but it was Dobrovolsky again who got in the way. Berti. It's only his third appearance for Argentina. Really there, Garcia, who'd been at the hub of the attack earlier and had been stopped, as I said, by Dobrovolsky. But poor Argentina, they're really getting to know each other, let alone how they each perform at this level of the game. Franco really hasn't found the pitch too much to his liking. And we'll remember him most of all, I think, his attempt to try and win a free kick with his amateur dramatics. Very amateur. Galliamid. Konchelskis. Dobrovolsky. Shalimov is there on the left again. Mikkelsen close to him. Dobrovolsky moving on into midfield now. Konchelskis is on the right. Here's Sergio. Has he forced the corner? He has done. Well, 2.5 minutes left and a chance for the Soviet Union to win the match here. Oh, Berti wasn't quite sure how to react. Dobrovolsky. Well, for the neutral, I think it has been a night to encourage English hopes for staging of the World Cup here, perhaps in '98. There's been a great response at the gate, and those who have come have certainly enjoyed what they've witnessed. Garcia. Now Enrique. Gets the better of Galliamin. Simeone coming into the middle, and Franco's there at the far post. Very well defended by Kuznetsov. But the danger not yet over for the Soviet Union. But Mikhailichenko deals with it. Classily.
Yes, but you're right, what brilliant defending from Kuznetsov. Franco must have thought that that was the winning goal in the last minute. But Kuznetsov's shown that he can't afford to give anything up and got in a tremendous clearing header.
Nice obstruction by Konchelskis. Well, whatever happens to the other players out there, we'll be seeing plenty of him in the months ahead. Enrique. And the Soviet Union with the Kolivanov still trying to get the ball to try and win the game. The lesser sides might have settled for a holding operation, having had Chernyshov sent off. We're into the final 30 seconds of the regulation time. Kulkov losing out to Garcia. Maybe still time here for Argentina. Well, on the neutral soil of Old Trafford, it's a draw between Argentina and the Soviet Union, 1-1. The goals from Ruggeri and Kolivanov. Ruggeri putting Argentina in front just on half-time, but they lost that lead early in the second half to Kolivanov's free kick. We've had a penalty save from Goycochea, a sending off as well. Andrei Chernyshov of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union out of the running now in this tournament. But if Argentina were to beat England at Wembley on Saturday, they would win the prize at stake in this mini-tournament, the England Challenge Cup. A final score at Old Trafford. It's Argentina 1, the Soviet Union 1.